Hello aspirants, welcome to Visham Academy. Last class we discussed about nutrition in plants. Second chapter is nutrition in animals. Plants can prepare their own food by the process of photosynthesis, but animals cannot, as we discussed in the last class. Animals get their food from plants either directly by eating plants or indirectly by eating animals that eat plants. Some animals eat both plants and animals. Recall that all organisms, including humans, require food for growth, repair, and functioning of the body. Animal nutrition includes nutrient requirement, mode of intake of food, and its utilization in the body. The components of food, such as carbohydrates, are complex substances. These complex substances cannot be utilized as such, so they are broken down into simpler substances. As shown in this diagram, complex substances is broken down into simpler substances. The breakdown of complex components of food into simpler substances is called digestion. Different ways of taking food. The mode of taking food into the body varies in different organisms. Bees and hummingbirds suck the nectar of plants, infants of human, and many other animals feed on mother's milk. Snakes, like the python, swallow the animal they prey upon. So some feed mother's milk, and some animals they prey upon, like swallowing the food. Some aquatic animals filter tiny food particles floating nearby and feed upon them. So scraping, chewing, symphoning, capturing, and swallowing, sponging, sucking, etc. Starfish feeds on animals covered by hard shells of calcium carbonate. After opening the shell, the starfish pops out its stomach through its mouth to eat the soft animal inside the shell. The stomach then goes back into the body and the food is slowly digested. So it's just a fact. Digestion in humans. We take in food through the mouth, digest and utilize it. This is the human digestive system. The unused parts of the food are defecated. The food passes through a continuous canal, as shown in the 2.2 figure, which begins at the buccal cavity and ends at the anus. The canal can be divided into various compartments like the buccal cavity, food pipe or esophagus, stomach, small intestine, large intestine, ending in the rectum and the anus. These parts together form the alimentary canal or digestive tract. The food components gradually get digested as food travels to the various compartments. The inner walls of the stomach and the small intestine and the various glands associated with the canal, such as salivary glands, the liver, and the pancreas, secrete digestive juices. The digestive juices convert complex substances of food into simpler ones. The digestive tract and the associated glands together constitute the digestive system. So let's see the different parts in explained manner. The mouth and the buccal cavity. Food is taken into the body through the mouth. The process of taking food into the body is called ingestion. Before that, we see the milk teeth and the permanent teeth. So we all remember that falling of the teeth some years ago, right? The first set of the teeth grows during infancy and they fall off at the age between 6 to 8 years. That is milk teeth. The second set that replaces them are the permanent teeth. The permanent teeth may last throughout life or fall off during old age or due to some dental diseases. This is the arrangement of teeth and different types of teeth like molar, premolar, canine, incisor. We chew the food, and back to the ingestion. We chew the food with the teeth and break it down mechanically into small pieces. Each tooth is rooted in a separate socket in the gums. Our teeth vary in appearance and perform different functions. Accordingly, they are given different names like molar, premolar, canine, incisor. Our mouth has salivary glands which secrete saliva. So it helps to make easier the digestion of the food. Skipping the activity. The saliva breaks down the starch into sugar. The tongue is a fleshy muscular organ attached at the back to the floor of the buccal cavity. It is free at the front and can be moved in all directions. We use our tongue for talking. Besides, it mixes saliva with the food during chewing and helps in swallowing food. We also taste food with our tongue. It has taste buds that detect different tastes of food. We can find out the position of taste buds by the following activity. So we are just skipping the activity. This is the regions of tongues for different taste, like sweet, salty, sour, and spice. Sweets and tooth decay. Normally, bacteria are present in our mouth, but they are not harmful to us. However, if we do not clean our teeth and mouth after eating, many harmful bacteria also begin to live and grow in it. These bacteria break down the sugars present from the leftover food and release acids. This is the gradual decay of the tooth. The acids gradually damage the teeth. This is called tooth decay. If it is not treated in time, it causes severe toothache and in extreme cases results in tooth loss. Chocolates, sweets, soft drinks and other sugar products are the major culprits of the tooth decay. Therefore, one should clean the teeth with a brush or Daton and dental floss. That is a special strong thread which is moved between two teeth to take out trapped food particles at least twice a day and rinse the mouth after every meal. Also, one should not put 30 fingers on any unwashed object in the mouth. Sometimes when you eat in a hurry, talk or laugh while eating, you may cough, get hiccups or a choking sensation. This happens when food particles enter the windpipe. The windpipe carries air from the nostrils to the lungs. So the windpipe has the role to carry air from the nostrils to the lungs. It runs adjacent to the food pipe, but inside the throat, air and food share a common passage. Then how is food prevented from entering the windpipe? During the act of swallowing, a flap-like valve closes the passage of the windpipe and guides the food into the food pipe. If by chance food particles enter the windpipe, we feel choked, get hiccups or cough. As it is easier to understand, I am just reading it. The food pipe, esophagus. Swallowed food passes into the food pipe or esophagus. This is the figure 2.7 is the movement of food in the esophagus of the alimentary canal. The green color portion is food. The swallowed food passes into the food pipe or esophagus. The food pipe runs along the neck and the chest. Food is pushed down by the movement of the wall of the food pipe. Actually, this movement takes place throughout the alimentary canal and pushes the food downwards. At times, food is not accepted by our stomach and is vomited out. Recall the instances when you vomited after eating and think of the reason for it. It's just activity. Next is the stomach. The stomach is a thick-walled bag. Its shape is like a flattened J and it is the widest part of the alimentary canal. It receives food from the food pipe and at one end and opens into small intestines at the other. The inner lining of the stomach secretes mucus, hydrochloric acid, and the lining of the stomach. The acid kills many bacteria that enter along with the food and makes the medium in the stomach acidic and helps the digestive juices to act. The digestive juices break down the proteins into simpler substances. So it is important that the digestive juices helps to break down the proteins into simpler substances. The small intestine, before that the box says the working of the stomach was discovered by the strange accident. In 1822, a man named Alexis St. Martin was badly hit by a shotgun. The bullet had seriously damaged the chest wall and made a hole in his stomach. He was brought to an American Army doctor, William Beaumont. The doctor saved the patient, but he could not close the hole properly and left it bandaged. Beaumont took it as a great opportunity to see the inside of the stomach through the hole. He made some wonderful observations. He found that the stomach was churning food. Its wall secreted a fluid which could digest the food. He also observed that end of the stomach opens into the intestine only after the digestion of the food inside the stomach is completed. So it's just an interesting fact. We just want to note down that the working of the stomach was discovered by a man named Alexis St. Martin in 1820. The Dr. William Beaumont in 1822. The small intestine. The small intestine is highly coiled and is about 7.5 meters long. It receives secretions from the liver and pancreas. Besides, its wall also secretes juices. The liver is a reddish brown gland situated in the upper part of the abdomen on the right side. It is the largest gland in the body. So the important point is we get questions like which is the largest gland in the body. The liver is the largest gland in the body. It secretes bile juice that is stored in a sac called gallbladder. The bile plays an important role in the digestion of fats. The pancreas is a large green-colored gland located just below the stomach. The pancreatic juice acts on carbohydrates, fats, and proteins and changes them into simpler forms. The partially digested food now reaches the lower part of the small intestines, where the intestinal juice completes the digestion of all components of the food. So the intestinal juice in the lower part of the small intestine completes the digestion of all components of the food. The carbohydrates gets broken into simple sugars such as glucose, fats into fatty acids, and glycerols, and proteins into amino acids. Absorption in the small intestines. The digested food can now pass into the blood vessels in the wall of the intestines. This process is called absorption. So what is absorption in the small intestine? The digested food pass into the blood vessels which is in the wall of intestine. That is called absorption. The inner walls of small intestines have thousands of finger-like outgrowths. These are called villi or singular villus. The villi increase the surface area for absorption of the digested food. Each villus has a network of thin and small blood vessels close to its surface. The surface of villi absorbs the digested food materials. The absorbed substances are transported via the blood vessels to different organs of the body, where they are used to build complex substances such as the proteins required by the body. So thus we get the proteins required by the body. This is called assimilation. Once again, the surface of villi absorbs the digested food materials. So who absorbing the digested food materials? Surface of the villi. That absorbed substance now transferring via blood vessels into different organs of the body, and there they build complex substances that is helping to get the proteins required by the body. In cells, glucose breaks down with the help of oxygen into carbon dioxide and water, and energy is released. So it's a chemical reaction. The food that remains undigested and unabsorbed enters into the large intestine. So that is where ends in defecation. So the last is large intestine. The large intestine is wider and shorter than small intestines. It's about 1.5. So that is 7.5. Here it is 1.5. Its function is to absorb water and some salts from digested food materials. The remaining waste passes into the rectum and remains there as semi-solid feces. The fecal matter is removed through the anus from time to time. This is called egestion. That is ejecting the waste particles. Digestion in grass-eating animals. Let me see how more portion is there. Okay. Digestion in grass-eating animals. Have you observed that is cow, buffalo and other grass-eating animals? Actually, they quickly swallow the grass and store it in a part of stomach called rumen. First they store, and here the food gets partially digested and it is called cud. But later the cud returns into the mouth in small lumps and the animal chews in it. So we can see that the cow used to chew after the gazing, right? This process we are noticing in that time. This process is called rumination and these animals are called ruminants. Before that, diarrhea. Sometimes you may have experienced the need to pass watery stool frequently, right? This condition is called diarrhea. It may be caused by an infection, food poisoning or indigestion. It is very common in India, particularly among children. Under severe conditions, it can be fatal. This is because of the excessive loss of water and salts from the body. Diarrhea should not be neglected. Even before a doctor is consulted, the patient should be given plenty of boiled and cooled water with a pinch of salt and sugar dissolved in it. That is called oral dehydration solution, that is ORS. All of us had this once, right? Okay, next is the grass is rich in cellulose. Continuing after the ruminants, back to the digestion in grass eating animals. The grass is rich in cellulose, a type of carbohydrate. In ruminants like cattle, deer, etc., bacteria present in rumen helps in digestion of cellulose. So the bacteria in the rumen helps digestion of cellulose in ruminants. Many animals, including humans, cannot digest cellulose. Animals like horse, rabbit, etc. have a large sac-like structure called caecum between the esophagus and the small intestine. You can see the caecum in this picture. This is the esophagus, the starting one, and the middle portion is stomach. Inside the stomach you can see the rumen, small intestine, and caecum and the largest intestine. Next is feeding and digestion in amoeba. Amoeba is a microscopic single-celled organism found in pond river. Amoeba has a cell membrane, a rounded, dense nucleus, and many small bubble-like vacuoles. Nucleus, pseudopodium, food particle ingestion, food vacuole, digested waste. You can see it in this image. Amoeba is a microscopic single-celled organism found in pond water. Amoeba has a cell membrane, a rounded, dense nucleus, and a many small bubble-like vacuoles in its cytoplasm. Amoeba constantly changes its shape and position. It pushes out one or more finger-like projection called pseudopodia or false feet for movement and capture of food. Amoeba feeds on some microscopic organisms. When it senses food, it pushes out pseudopodia around the food particle and engulfs it. See this image. This is the food particles. So it is pushing the pseudopodia and around the food particles, and it engulfs the food particle. The food becomes trapped in a food vacuole. Thus you can see there are many food particles inside the food vacuole, and it is ejecting as a ejected waste. Digestive juices are secreted into the food vacuole. They act on the food and break it down into simpler substances. Gradually, the digested food is absorbed. The absorbed substances are used for growth, maintenance, and multiplication. The undigested residue of the food is expelled outside by the vacuole. The basic process of digestion of food and release of energy is same in all animals. So in the later chapter, as far as we discuss this, and in later chapter we will learn about the transport of food absorbed by the intestine into the various parts of the body. Okay, so the chapter 2 is finished. Next chapter is fiber to fabric. We discussed the same thing in the class 6 itself, but in few topics we discussed in simple way. That topics we need to discuss in elaborated way. So we can take the third chapter in the next video. Until then, I am signing off. Wish you all the best.